Good evening, our compatriots. There comes a time in the history of a nation when silence on matters that are clearly affecting the country means consent. We continue to see a trend where many of our citizens are indifferent to what is happening in our country. Let me submit from the outset that indifference to the so many wrong things that are happening in our country means that you are not different from the people who are dead, those who are in the graveyards. Because it is only the people who are in the graveyards who are dead who cannot respond to what is happening because they are dead. Fellow citizens, Zambia is at a stage where all of us ought to be concerned, whether you are in government or outside government. Genuinely, when you sit as a citizen, you ought to be concerned. I'm going to start with the security of the country. The entire security system of our country is under siege. The Zambia army is under siege. The Zambia Air Force, the Zambia Police, and Zambia National Service, they are under siege. And it's the corrupt elements, the criminals, that have found themselves in the upper echelons of power, who don't care about what happens to the state, to the republic, who are doing all these kind of things in our country. And this cannot be allowed to continue. Fellow citizens, the men and women in uniform, including the unsung heroes in the Zambia Intelligence Service, those are the unsung heroes. They are not in uniform, and yet they are the most important members of the security wings of our country. They are no longer respected. They are not being given professional space to provide professional advice to state managers. And because of this, criminal elements, people who are not supposed even to become supervisors in a little company, they are not qualified to supervise casual workers. They are running the entire country. What do you expect this country to be? We have people who are running the country by running away from the country. They have become so simplistic in the way they're running the state. How can a country of people who are sensible, in a country where the majority of the people are surviving on less than $1 or less than 20 kwacha per day, you have a political grouping that finds resources to invest in coming up with designer shoes for campaigns? They come up with what are called fertilizer packs, and they begin to distribute to people. Everything is branded. You reduce the country to non-entities. You reduce the country to individuals. We are talking about the integrity of the state. If they can find the billions to invest in branding water, in branding everything, branding pants, branding bras, branding whatever you name it. Talk about vitenges, not to mention vitenges and t-shirts. They have taken the money from the mainstream economic spheres, and then they have put money in illegal circulation. They have stifled or they have strangled the mainstream economy of the country. Then they put money in a few hands, among themselves the corrupt people. There are billions that are circulating among themselves, illegal money circulating in the economy of Zambia. Whereas an ordinary citizen, that common young person who has graduated, who does not have a job, who is roaming the streets of our country, that biomedical Zambian, that nurse, that doctor, that lawyer, that engineer who has no job, who is roaming the streets, that person is not in employment. And they don't care about job creation. Because they have been running the country by Kaloba, running the country by borrowing. We shall go and borrow. We don't care who's going to repay. Let's go and borrow. And as a result, because they are running a country by kickbacks, and this has become a culture from the top all the way to statutory corporations. There is no statutory corporation in Zambia which has been left out. Every idiot in the statutory corporations, director generals, all idiots. All they are looking at, wherever they see smelling money, they see a little investment coming up, they want to milk money from the citizens. Idiots. You idiot. Name all these bodies. Talk about WAMA. Idiots. You go to all kinds of statutory bodies. What is happening is idiocy. Talk about the Road Development Agency. Idiocy. When we spoke about those works which happened at that Arikinkata stupid thing which you call a bypass, we were the first in the UPP to issue a statement. All idiots, including the engineering institute of Zambia, all of them idiots. What did they do? They were defending. No, that thing, when you look at statutory integrity, it's all right. What has happened? And works being done on that stupid thing of Arikinkata. You want to defend Lobopwa. Idiots, they group up. If you can't say, if you are not angry, if you are not upset with what is happening in the country, then you are stupid. When we spoke, some of you are saying, this person must go to Chanema mental hospital. Why is he always furious? That's why I say, okay, let us be quiet. Let's see, so that you can see for yourselves. And if you can't be angry with what is happening in Zambia, whereas money to invest in the shoemaking industry is not there, then you have this so-called ruling party, they are making shoes. That's a campaign. Stockings, Amabamba, Namanika. Then they are distributing in the country. And then this is campaign, distributing minimum. Stupid. Is this what those men and women fought for this country fought for? And want us to be quiet over what is happening in our country? We spoke about the national debt in 2017. That the true extent of the debt is over $40 billion. $40 billion, sorry. $40 billion. The World Bank, IMF, and others, they have come closer to our figure. They are saying it's around $3 billion, but it's far more than that. The true extent of the debt in Zambia is over $40 billion. And right now, there does not exist a plan to recover the economy of the country as well as to repay the debts. We have been saying in the UPP that we need a plan, and we are the only political movement with a clear plan to take the country out of the mess. We have been saying time has come to give the citizens fiscal spaces. And by fiscal space, we mean it's time to lower the taxes, remove scrap of pay as you earn. Pay as you earn will be number one tax that the APP government is going to scrap off. Why should Zambians pay as you earn? And then they're saying, where will money come from? How much are we losing in illegal trade through emeralds? You go to mining, there are issues that we begin to talk about surgically. We'll be going into issues surgically, issue by issue. We'll give an example of a mine in Solwezi, in the Northwestern Province, where the Supreme Court made the ruling. There are foreigners who have come to put the country under siege. They are running some of the Lebanese mafias. They are running those mines there. The Supreme Court made the ruling to the effect that a Zambian company must take over those mining operations. There is a ruling of the Supreme Court. It's not being enforced. And the Zambian company has been disadvantaged. Now those criminal elements who are wanted for terrorism in their countries that they run away from, they are running those emerald mines, and they are taking the emeralds out of the country, and they go to these idiots, because if there is a cabinet in the history of Zambia, a cabinet with ministers who are idiots of idiots, is this current administration. This current administration, since independence, if there is a country created by Minister Ifupuba, it's the current government. But all they are doing in their positions. If you are a minister of mines, You are a minister in charge of finance. You are not in those positions. You must look at these things that are happening. How can you allow this country to be ripped off like that? A few criminal elements, foreigners, they are taking emeralds out of the country, and this country is losing more than $4 billion per annum, and you are looking away. And if we let Zambian companies run these particular enterprises, there is no way this country can be suffocated. Now, because a few people, from State House, you go the way down to all these people at whatever level, they get something, then they don't care. As long as it's not about shikuta, bottomless stomachs and bottomless pockets, then they don't care about what happens to the country. Then you are now taxing the citizens, taxing every worker. When you look at the national budget, we in the UPP have consistently said more than 75% of the national budget is pay as you earn. Zambian workers are financing Wupuba. They're subsidizing corruption. And then ZESCO is the most useless of all institutions in our country. It's being abused. We did show a case that look at the amounts of money, the billions that ZESCO has borrowed, and that the country is continuing to see load shedding. They go to ZESCO. ZESCO is like a cash cow. If they see anybody, a chairman of a board who is brilliant, remove that person. That's all they know. So they can take somebody, because they know they are going to the election here. Let's remove the chairman. Chitara. Is it Chitara? What's his name? This Impitare one was at ZESCO, the chairman. Remove the person. We spoke about the issues affecting ZESCO. It's a cash cow to criminals who are masquerading as leaders in our country. And if any idiot ever thinks that we shall be quite over Zambia, you are mistaken. And I'm calling them idiots because that's who they are. It's stupid. It's foolish. To abandon the mainstream, to abandon empowering the mainstream economy, and then you create a pseudo kind of economy so that you can perpetually keep people to be dependent on criminals, depending on others. The country they created what is called the CEC, Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, which UPP will scrap off because we don't need that. We have said that. Time has come to take power to the people. And we in the UPP are saying power to the people. Power to the people. Power to that grandmother. Power to the youth. Power to women. Power to each and every citizen in Zambia. And to deliver this power to the people, we are talking about the need to respect traditional institutions in our country. Respect their royalnesses. And involve them in the ministry, in the running of the country. Because they are the ones that are with the people. When we scrap off this thing we call FRA, and we create a National Crop and Livestock Marketing Authority with the departments of agriculture at county level, because every district under UPP will become a county, we shall end all this idiots going on. UPP is the only people's movement that will end Ubupuba, that will end the stupidity, that will end the foolishness. And we return to wisdom. Wisdom is profitable. Wisdom is actually profitable to direct. This country lacks wisdom. It's lacking wisdom. The people are wise are walking the streets. People are how can there be order in the country and want us to be quiet over that? When we take the power there, you scrap up this CEC, then you have Department of Commerce at county level, district level, because every district under our plan will be a county. And then you take money to the Department of Commerce. You distribute equally. That Department of Commerce will use the data which the National Registration Department at county level will have. They will have the data on how many carpenters are in the streets, how many bricklayers are there. So when we're talking about empowering the citizens, we are taking money right where the citizens are. And each department will know where money must go. And young people access the money. But what have we done? We have killed local government administration. We kill institutions, and then we create empowerment funds, useless empowerment fund, yeah, this empowerment fund, or empowerment fund for shoes, chitenge empowerment funds, so that people can go train up for to tenge kwa tupuba. And any stupid Zambian, ichipuba, mufiashika shikabo me. Also with a Zambia kashikabo me. uli ange chipuba chibinda mwaiche adi ayi mwashingo ashiko buchinga nimuse mondelo cha. What do I mean by this? When you dig a pit that the animal fall in the pit, then it falls, you get it, and then you bury the pit that you forget about tomorrow. Then after finishing what you have eaten, then you now think about going to redig because you dug, you close it up, you think that you don't need it again. These are the kind of state managers that we have in our country. And they are following up everything. No private citizen can do anything privately genuine to help the country. I have been quite, for instance, for the past 6-7 months thereabout, I've been genuinely on the invitation of their Royal Highnesses, the family members, to say it's time to try and develop the development agenda. What have they done? The cordon of foolishness comes extending to everything to disturb everything. That's what they know. They don't want to just even simply appreciate that each and every citizen, when it comes to Zambia before us, all of us are equal worthy. And there's so much disrespect going on among their Royal Highnesses. And personally, as a member of the royal family, I'm going to meet, in fact, I've been meeting each and every member of the royal family. Their Royal Highnesses, let them understand that they're being used. You are using them. You are saying, these are strong words. Any little development which is there, you are saying, go to Northern Province, go to Kasama. What you get you looking? Say, Amaka, what people? Amaka. Which Maka? Amaka Matumba. You are calling that Amaka. And any chief who smile over these things, Luapula, Northern, Muchinga, and I'm a nationalist, but I'm speaking particularly about these areas because I'm speaking as royalty. Being used. Go all the chiefs. So is coming to campaign. Once back, can never say in Longani. Who is supposed to queue before who? Umushia de tempo. A commoner is calling the chief. Why should the chiefs go to run up before Abash? Where is the integrity? And this is the message that must sink in royalty. Royalty was before this kind of common leadership that we have. And we are not going to apologize for being royals. All members of royal families must act and unite. All royal establishments. Time has come for all members of the royal family to unite. The Bemba royal establishment, Ngoni, Lozi, name it, it's time that all chiefs, irrespective of tribe, that they came together. Because these were ordained in their mother's wombs to run the affairs of the people. Chiefs need not go to line up before Abashia. Umushoyo, who is a member of parliament, is elected. Umusha is elected to any political position. Tomorrow, that person will be taken out. Their royalnesses will remain there. No wonder. We in the UPP are going to create authorities. There will not be any ministry. This ministry called Ministry for Chiefs Affairs is just idiocy. We don't need a Ministry of Chiefs Affairs because these chiefdoms or kingdoms, they are institutions on their own. And under the APP plan, each chiefdom will receive financing. There will be royal treasuries. Mukuni royal treasury. Chitimukuru royal treasury. Mwamba royal treasury. Kasonde Chituna royal treasury. Mununga royal treasury. Name it, any chiefdom. Every chiefdom must have a treasury. And it must have. When they're talking about subventions, they must come from the state. Chiefs don't need to be lining up for salaries. Chiefs
are lining up for vehicles kumusha ati mpeniko motoka kumusha no bushabule no nkati mpeniko motoka peniko bunga ichi kumusha e common no kununka nunka that church for akutenga chapwa is a common chiefs are there, governments have come, they have gone, chiefs are there, they have remained there. So we cannot reduce chieftaincy. And this is a battle that we in the UPP are equal to fight. And ready to fight and are equal to this task. We cannot. Look at the value of the kwacha. The value of the kwacha has gone down. If 1,000 kwacha yesterday was able to buy so many goods today, if you're able to carry a trolley today with 1,000 kwacha, you can't push a trolley. You carry a basket. That's how useless a kwacha has become. And all they want is to continue in power. You have failed to govern the country, you want to continue in power. And I want to say this to each and every political grouping. I think that, seriously, we in the UPP, we met 3 weeks ago. And we believe that probably, if it means even having some kind of manager of inconvenience, whatever we shall call them, I think that time has come to unite. To kick out these people. Because it's like everything they are doing, even people want to do something privately, a good initiative, they want to temper with that. So it's like they're inviting us back to say, you people just unite to kick us out of power. They don't want to remain in power. Say, please vote us out of power in the coming election. And I want to appeal to the Zambia police that you men and women in uniform, you are more respected than the criminals who are running the country. Some of them, they are the people that will soon be detained, will be arrested because they are criminals. And I want you to think, please, put Zambia first. I'm appealing to men and women in uniform to put Zambia first. Remember Zambia. You know the people, you know them. You are in security wings. You have history about these criminals. You know them. So rise above intimidation. Know that we have under air to the next election. It's better you lose your job. If an Inspector General of Police, they have not renewed your contract, it's better they don't renew your contract but to stand for the truth. If you are the Zambia Army Commander, it's better your contract is not renewed but stand for the truth. Whatever position that you hold, you are commissioner, whatever position, it's better for your contract to be terminated now. 8 months, 7 months is not long to suffer. It's better for all of us to begin to unite. And we have said, when it comes to allegiance is not allegiance to corruption. It's allegiance to the integrity of the state. And when we're talking about the state, we are talking about all of us as citizens. Zambia is called a republic. And we are not called a republic for nothing. We are called a republic because it's a public property. And whoever is abusing a public property is an enemy of the people. These are people. Somebody was not able to even buy water. Today, this person has some position in government. Suddenly, they are just taking out the cash and they have no problems. Everything. We must appeal to quite in 2 days. You want to be in the toilet? No, we are appealing to State House. We want the toilet. We are appealing. And all kinds of useless empowerment funds that have come up. Empowerment funds for political campaigns. We can't reduce development goals, economic goals to political goals. When you fail, you go. Go where you came from, quickly. You are holding on what do you call it? A tick. Is it contour? I don't know in your language. Write it down. Holding on. You have killed the country like contour because contour or a tick. Once a tick is on an animal, on a cow, on a dog dies, a contour is there until they bury it together. They want to bury this country together with them because they are dead in terms of the thinking. Their elasticity has reached the end. Their consciences have become inelastic, in other words. Meaning, you can't, because if you're able to stretch it, they can have a heart. But these people are heartless. They think money is the alpha and the omega. This is money they never expected. They have looted, They have so stolen that they don't care about the country. They don't care about that woman who's walking the streets, roaming the streets of the country. They don't care about those people. They are thinking, when they are making policies, they are looking at how much they have. Yes, somebody has 1 billion kwacha cash. Someone has 2 million kwacha cash in the house. They don't care about that person who is failing to afford to buy. They don't know that with the 10 kwacha, 5 kwacha, there are people who are budgeting on 5 kwacha. They don't know that. On 5 kwacha, they are budgeting that let's go and buy tomato. I'll buy 1 tomato, 2 tomatoes. We'll buy vegetables. 5 kwacha. They are citizens, big families who are living on that. And then you have idiots. They are getting all kinds of private jets. They are getting the most expensive cars. They don't care about citizens. And they are saying, Emma Mania, but quite people. That's what I'm saying. We, the citizens of the country, too, are to blame. Why do you make celebrity of people? Idiots, we are making them to be celebrities. And we are celebrating. Go to the judiciary. The judiciary has become one of the worst ever in the country. And the few men and women on the bench of integrity, there are many, many cases that you people be bringing up. On a very serious note, many cases. You even see it. Some cases are bordering on corruption. How can judges become prosecutors, become arresting officers? There are many cases we shall be bringing up because we want to bring more action now. We are beginning a kind of activism that has never ever been seen in our country. Our founding fathers and mothers faced colonialists. We are facing criminals. Colonialists had some level of integrity. At least we are following some kind of systems. But these people are not following systems. They wake up on the left, that will be on that day, left to be the system. They wake up on the right, that day, right to be the system. And want to touch and every citizen. Where is the dignity? Where is the dignity? Where is the integrity of the state? How can you repay the debts under the circumstances? You are going to the IMF. IMF is not the solution. We have said, scrap off all these useless taxes. Pay as you earn must be scrapped off. Reduce tax rates, corporate tax, reduce all tax. In fact, UPP will remove pay as you earn. We shall remove corporate tax. We shall introduce profit-based taxation across sectors. When it comes to extractive industries, profit, which will be retained by the state, the profit will be 85%. If we are talking about the mining sector, if the profit being made per annum is $5 billion or $10 billion, shall I say, it means the state will retain we are retaining $8.5 billion. $1.5 billion is a lot of money for another country, another company to take out of the country. The rest will be retained. And this same rate is maintained in all countries that are depending on oil. Oil is a diminishing resource. Copper, gold, all these resources that we have, they are actually diminishing resources. So we need to be prudent. We need taxes which are property-based, and UPP will introduce systems. We are talking about systems to control, to ensure that we monitor what is happening at all levels. And this is doable. You can remotely control with tools. Nobody can cheat. Price transferring will stop in the mining sector. Because we'll take all small-scale mining operations to Zambians. No foreigner is going to own a small mine. Small mining operators must be the people of Zambia, because the land belongs to Zambians, minerals belong to the people of Zambia. And these are not go areas. These are not tradable. Then when it comes to all other industries, when you produce, we shall introduce a profit-based taxation of 15%. And this 15% is doable, because you go to tourism. When you reduce it to that level, then we are going to stimulate growth. We want to see more operators to come up in the tourism sector. And that 15% is a lot. And what we want, when we remove pay as you earn, because each and every worker is going to be accounted for under a county. When you are in Monze County, from your salary, you only pay for services under the county where you are. When they deduct from it too, will be actually deductible from your pay slip. For services, when they deduct 1% for garbage collection, the rates, it means that you will see services being delivered on your doorsteps, garbage will be collected, water will be supplied. Zambia right now, what you're seeing is chaos. Every woman has a ball. Where is it done like that? Water equally is a diminishing resource in a way. We are contaminating underground water. So we need a proper system where counties are running. A county, Lusaka County, Chongwe County, must run water supply to all areas. The idea behind the places you call site and service is that the council must site, they find the area, then they provide the services there, they provide the roads, they provide the water, the sewer system. But all these things are not being done, and yet you are paying rates. You pay rates, you pay as you earn. You know, Zambians are the most abused ever when it comes to taxation. Now, when all these taxes are high, you kill demand, because the working class has less money to spend on disposable income. And if you are buying less goods, if you are able to buy 10 water, whatever, 10 bottles of water, you have less money, you buy 10. You buy from 10, you buy 2. When you buy 2, it means those who are producing water who produce 2, they will look at demand. They will lay off workers, they'll produce to meet demand, they'll produce according to demand. So aggregate demand drops. When aggregate demand drops, production drops, GDP drops. It's that simple to understand. We need to think outside the box. And this kind of leadership that we have recycled across the divide cannot change course. That's why we are appealing to citizens and want to commend all those Zambians who are coming up from the private sector. And we welcome on the political scene. Lady, what's her name? Chisala? Chiala. I think that's her name. Kateka. That's very good. We want people to come from the private sector. You've been too much in these comfortable zones. People who are not qualified to be supervisors in the companies that some of you CEOs are running, they're the ones who are running the country. What do you expect? They don't qualify to run a section. They're running the country. They have no understanding whatsoever. They don't have the motivation, the zeal, the dedication, the vision to run the country. I said, let them run the country. And then we are looking up. Our nation must come out of this mess. No one is going to deliver us. We, the people of Zambia, across tribe and color, must unite to deliver ourselves from what is happening. When you look at the police, the policemen and women, they are the most forgotten about, and the intelligence officers. When you look at what they get, they cannot sustain rentals, those who are not being accommodated, even those who are accommodated, because they must pay bills, electricity, water bills. They must pay fees for children. They must buy food. They can't survive. They are suffering together with all of us as Zambians. And don't think that those men and women in uniform are stupid. They see what is happening. And I think that every scheme to even try and do some kind of electoral malpractice, the people of Zambia must brace them for themselves for the Madagascar formula. Thieves will not see the light of day. Every thief will not see the light of day. This is the prayer. Those who are praying, this is the prayer point. Pray that every thief must not see the light of day. Pray that the houses they have built, they will not live in them. This must be the prayer. Pray that every blood, every citizen who has died because of maladministration, that blood should cry out for vengeance. And prayer is pretense. I'm giving you the right prayer point. These people are not going anywhere. Whoever is taking things for granted and they think we shall look away, they are killing their own Zambian companies. Look what judgments coming out of the Supreme Court. There are many cases, many examples that we can give. And we'll be talking about these examples. Look at Malawi. Malawi has overtaken Zambia. When UPP brought up the Maize Gate scandal, because in the Maize Gate, State House was involved. This queen mother of corruption, you see, Dollar, what is her name? Dollar, what's them? Dollar Sidiza, whatever you call her, was at the center of driving all this kind of agenda, including another minister. In Malawi, the courts were above board. They directed that the minister ought to step down and the president obeyed because there were court orders. And the government respected court orders. Today, there's change of regime in Malawi. In Zambia, State House became the publication center for corruption. They come from Ethiopia. No, we spoke to Mutharika. He said there's no corruption. No, I'm speaking about the president. They have said there's no corruption. What kind of thinking is this? Zambia needs now firm leadership. Where we are. Not that you tekanya. Pantu muntu atekanya. You are saying muntu atekanya. Ukutekanya no kushishita. Ukutekanya no kushishita are two different things. Ngoblo muntu wa shishita adali tekanya. Kushishita no kutekanya. I will repeat what I'm saying. Ukushishita no kutekanya, they are not the same things. It's not the same thing. Abantu muntu wa shishita. Ngoblo wa shishita adisapo wa shishita. I don't think we shall keep quiet. It's time to stand up for our country. For me, I've been invited back. I told you that I've been trying to be busy, to try and do something practical on the ground, but I've been invited back to fight for the country, to fight for justice, to fight against corruption, to fight for order in Zambia. And it's not a battle I intend to lose. With all those who say it's a coalition of the willing, a coalition of citizens who say prisons are not powerful enough to stop the will of the people. Chains are not strong enough to stop the people power. We are talking about 2021 Madagascar formula. In Madagascar, that president thought was going to be thought to do business as usual rig. Citizens all over the country, they said, very peaceful. We are not calling for violence, no. But peacefully, they said, tell us, here we are out, count us, who voted for you? And I think that discussions must begin among ourselves in the opposition. It's very clear. For me, circumstances, I'll go into details of those circumstances. Clearly, they're indicating that it's time for us to begin to talk, to see how we are going to end this kind of dark cloud cover, which is hovering over Zambia. This country needs redemption. When I'm talking about redemption, I'm talking about the coming election. It's time to free ourselves from this kind of slavery. And wherever you are, even those areas where they think that they have strongholds, and I'm speaking as royalty, each and every member of the royal family must look at what is happening in Zambia now. And that you are being used to get Kolopo. Chiefs are being used to get Kolopo. No, go and take 100,000 kwacha, take 250,000 kwacha to that one. That chief is simple. But at the end of the day, it's to the people of Zambia. It's your money. They stole from you. Take the money. But begin to tell the people. And I'm going to read this campaign. And I'm speaking as Loti. I'll read the campaign to sensitize our people. Let them know that not twinkling on our pump, but it won't fear. It's time to remember that they're just using us. They are using us. Because to them, everything is politics. Who do you call is politics? They see, oh, that one, which party is politics? Even things that are not political, to them is politics. They are scared of their own shadows. Because they didn't expect to be where they are. No, bushabule nunca. Bushabule nunca, bushabule nunca. And if you look at how they have been using agencies like the ACC, even among themselves, they see some minister, somebody who's delivering, becoming powerful, follow that person. They stop that person from attending the convention. Even internally, there is so much division. There is no ruling political party that is as divided as the current ruling party. Because it's a mixture of all kinds of upuba. Somebody was in this party, now they are there. And there's no way they can stick together. Somebody was in this party, somebody was in this party, and that one, now they are there. They're just there to eat. So, and the difference is in eating. You see, who eats more? Because they're just there. They know that this is temporary, it's transient. And the country can't survive like this. Everything is corruption because there's corruption at the top. Everything, what they want is corruption. Even things that are straightforward is corruption. That's what they want. So we are opening up many cases. Number one, Maize Gate. We are following up on many cases involving the courts of Zambia, the Supreme Court especially. The Supreme Court especially. We are coming. There are many cases we are opening up. We are making applications. We use every channel to bring justice to matters that beg for justice in our country. Because the corruption of the judiciary, I'm telling you, fellow citizens, it puts the nation on its knees. The corruption of judges, even biblically, and I'm speaking to a country which professes to be a Christian state, the corruption of the judiciary destroyed nations. We can't afford to have a corrupt judiciary. Look at Malawi. In the Maize Gate, judges were making rulings, judicial reviews, they acted on the matter. We wrote to Chief Justice Irene Mambirima, Chief Injustice Mambirima. We wrote to her. She replied, no, according to the law says, when the Chief Justice petitioned to appoint a tribunal, that we have gathered more evidence. And wait, for every thief in the Maize Gate is going to pay back. There's Maize Gate reloaded. That case begs for justice, and the other cases that are opening up. We are not going to sleep over Zambia. We have one nation, we have one country, and be warned, every thief be warned that your days are numbered. We as crusaders and as nationalists, we shall not keep quiet over Zambia. We are going to have a matter of news conferences. And we shall be surgical. Each case, we say case one, these are the issues. And every thief must pay back the money. But most importantly, they must bring back our country. We as Zambians, we did not get to where we are to be where we are. Those men and women fought for freedom. They were expecting you and I to replace this kind of greed with selflessness. But you have allowed greed to rule, to be at the center of everything. And we keep recycling the same trash in the politics of the land. And we expect to see change? No. I challenge it and every young person from the four corners of Zambia. And I'm speaking to the four corners of Zambia to arise to free our country. No one is going to do it for us. We must free Zambia for ourselves. We don't expect Zambia to repair debts under the current plan. No, no one has a plan. We have a plan clearly. And we in the UPP, by the way, we are also proposing that time has come. Look, we have more than 40 billion, about 40 billion debt. Our plan is this, that we shall enact a law to buy off that debt, to cause citizens to buy that debt. What do we mean by that? We take that $40 billion, then we enact a law to ask citizens to buy shares under that law. That look, we are going to pay, if this debt continues in the next 5 more 10 years, we are going to pay so much as a percentage, 5%, 3%, 40 billion would pay 60 billion. But would rather, this 60 billion is retained in the country, Zambia. Now, how shall we do it? We are going to transfer the same securities, the same promises on the debt to you, the people of Zambia. Here, we must repay this. If we repay now, instead of 60 billion, we'll repay $50 billion. So from this 50 billion, are you a Zambian? Are you in the diaspora? Are you in Zambia? Please, buy off the debt. When we put it at, let's say, security put it at 2% or 5%. So if you pay 10 kwacha, we open a special account, you put 10 kwacha there. If the security, if the interest, the risk is 5%, which you are transferring locally, then we'll say it's 5% or 10%. 10 kwacha, you get 11 kwacha after 5 years from now, or we can even be paying it yearly. If it's 1 kwacha, we'll be paying you, 1 kwacha, we'll be paying you, is it 1 kwacha, is it 20 ngwe? I'm just giving an example, 20 ngwe per annum, something like that. We'll be getting something per month, depending on how much you are putting in. So, under this plan, those who have more money, like corporations, they can put in 2 million, they can put in 3 million, they can put in 10 million to buy off the debt. So if you put in 10 million, you get 10% of that. You get 11 million. From 10 million, you get $11 million. That kind of thing. And this will be locally driven. So the moment, whether you have chickens, sell your chickens or bring your chickens, bring your goats across the country, we have an thinking outside the box plan. When we do that, we'll get that money when we raise it and pay off the Chinese, pay off everyone. Then now, the state will owe the citizens of Zambia. We'll be building the economy, empowering your businesses, empowering individual citizens, but at the same time, we'll begin to repay. We are repaying you. This money is being returned in the economy. If you pay Mulengane, an individual who bought, who invested the 20 kwacha, 100 kwacha, this Mulenga gets 1,000 kwacha over the years. Invest it. It's the local economy which you are going to grow. We'll talk about all these details in terms of the plans that we have to take the country out of the mess. We are the only political movement with a plan. We are national resistance crusaders. This sets us apart from all of them. And this is what you ought to remember. Secretary General, Comrade Samantha Mwanza, is working very hard with the team. Chairman, Comrade James Sala, Comrade Banda Francis. They have been given a special task and they are working quietly round the clock. Comrade Kizito, Mukuka, they are working on the ground to make sure that these things are done. Comrade Banda, please, let's take that as Comrade Mogri, please, let's work to make sure that we meet all these targets that we have. Come the first quarter of 2021, we must go to the General Conference, and we are inviting all citizens to compete for all positions from the presidency up to the lowest person. And whoever shall emerge as leader, that person will be supported under the UPP ticket to liberate our country. Because for us, what is causing us to stick together is the plan that we have. We have been ready since 2001 to run the country, to put the country on a proper course, to end the Wupuba and put the country on a proper course. When we said, I was locked up. Now today, everybody in government is saying, everyone has acknowledged. So we are the only movement with a plan to take the country out of the mess. And wherever you are, start organizing. Wherever you are, inbox us by Facebook, whatever means that you have. Inbox us. Zambia must be organized branches wherever you are and organized to run. If you have no means, but you have capacity to organize, I can assure you, we shall provide resources to sponsor each and every candidate. We shall sponsor every candidate from councillor, chairperson, mayor, member of parliament. Those that have no means will be sponsored. It's time to take back our country. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Zambia.